So at Powerhouse, we kind of recognize that the world of youth marketing is ever evolving. So like I said at the beginning, our focus had kind of been Gen Z. Before that, it was millennials. Time has escaped us. There's already a new kind of generation on the horizon. So back in January, we recognized this. And we decided to conduct some research into this. So we researched into the needs, the affinities, and the values of this new generation. We surveyed 2,000 Zalphas in both the UK and the US, and then we surveyed their parents as well. So 2,000 Zalpha parents across those same territories. Zalphas that we surveyed were between the ages of 9 and 14, and then the Zalpha parents, interestingly, are born between 1990 and 2000. So it actually makes some of those parents Gen Zers themselves, and we'll get into a little bit more about how that's translating into the research a little bit later into this presentation. However, the first thing to note is that you might be a bit confused by the term Zalpha. And I will hopefully make that a little bit clearer for you. So generational cutoffs aren't always an exact science, right? So sometimes you're going to get two generations that will merge, and that's where Zalphas come in. So a Zalpha is a term that we use to describe people born on the cusp of two generations, in this case, Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So they bridge the gap between these two generations. And like I mentioned, they're currently between the ages of 9 and 14. I'm going to talk about gaming because gaming was really big for Gen Z, right? But for Gen Alpha, it is massive. It's their main source of entertainment for Gen Alpha. It's not just a pastime. It's a source of community for them. Why is it? Well, it's comforting. They can chat to their friends from the comfort of their homes. They can get creative and they can simply have fun. And then looking closer into our research, we broke this down by gender, and there was a clear kind of gap between that. So 76% of male identifying Zalphas said that their main interest was gaming. And in terms of socialization, they'd actually prefer to socialize with their friends via games than in person, interestingly. So really, really showing how they are growing up online. It's always good to put a face to the name. So I'm going to close off by showing you some Zalphas that are already kind of making waves and becoming personalities in their own right, and very telling, two of them come from the Kardashian family. So we have Northwest, we have Penelope Disick in the middle, and then on the end we have Elle McBloom. Northwest is probably the biggest one. She's already become such a huge Zalpha name and also a huge name for Gen Z as well. Her TikTok account is explosive. It's always populated with trending content. She's an icon. She's already had her own magazine cover. She's been on stage with Kanye. She had a song that came out that became a trending TikTok sound. She's done TikToks with rappers like Ice Spice, and she's 10. So she's killing the game. You've got to love it. And I always think she's a really salient example because for Northwest and also for Penelope Disick, they've both been raised by a family that has essentially paved the way for influencers. They are the OG influencers, right? The Kardashians. So Northwest and Penelope will have grown up with the normalization of paid and sponsored posts. She probably captures her mum's content. And importantly, this translates into how her account is run.